Hey guys, I just wanted to make a quick video. One of the reasons I love doing this class is because you guys come up with some amazing thoughts, some amazing questions that honestly sometimes I've never thought of before. And I got one this week that honestly it kind of struck me for the first time because it's never been put to me like this before, and I thought it was a great thought. And honestly, I wasn't prepared, so I had to do some research and educate myself. And basically, the question is what do you think about the use of a home equity line of credit as an emergency fund? And as I said, I tried to look at this from a very open-minded perspective. I see the appeal of it. The money is essentially yours in terms of it's in your home. It's equity. It's money that you've paid for, so it's technically available to you. So I get that. Usually there's nominal fees and everything associated with it, so I understand it. Plus, you're using hopefully your money in other ways to grow your wealth. So I mean, I get all those thoughts in theory, but I guess when I did some research and I looked at some things, I want to bring out some concerns that hopefully maybe you can think about. I'd love to have an open discussion from those of you who like this idea, but ultimately I want to just kind of pick your brain with regards to these things. First of all, when you have an emergency fund, that's your money. It's sitting in a bank account. As we've talked about, it's usually a money market fund or something like that that's earning very little. You're getting maybe, sorry about the thunder, you're maybe getting 1.5% on a good day. In most of these, maybe upwards of 1.75 or something like that. But you're not making a whole lot of money on it. But with regards to it, it's your money. There's no fees attached to it. Whereas with a home equity line of credit, there's going to be some fees attached to it. Typically, they're nominal, maybe some sort of origination fee, application fee. Usually, most of them will have some sort of annual fee just to allow you to access the money you have to pay on a regular basis. Even if you're not utilizing it, you have to pay something just to keep the line of credit open. Secondly, there's interest attached to it if you do take the money out. Some of them are fixed interest rates. Other ones are variable. Variable scares me. Variable scares me because, unfortunately, in the world of finance, usually variable only goes one way, and that's up. So that's a concern when it comes down to that type of thing. Secondly, one of the things that actually was an interesting thought, and tell me what you think about this. When you paid money to put it in equity, when you paid your mortgage payment and you put that money against your home, you paid interest at that time. If you take out that money again, you're going to pay interest on it another time. So in essence, you're paying interest on the same money twice. So for those people that think that they're building money with their wealth to use a home equity line of credit, I guess that's a thought, that you're having to pay interest twice on the same money. So think about that. Chris Hogan likes to say, interest that you receive as a reward, interest you pay as a penalty. So just think about that. Ultimately, Financial Peace University is about simplifying your life, simplifying your finances. Sometimes we do want to make things more complicated than they need to be. I look at a emergency fund as security, as ultimately insurance against something bad happening. And that's the way that we look at insurance. We have car insurance to prevent against a car breaking down in the result of an accident and not having the money to replace it. At that point, you'd be able to do that or have something fixed because you can't incur that cost. Or if you did damage to someone else, you wouldn't be able to replace their vehicle. So you insure against that, and you pay a cost associated with that. Same with your home. For those of us in the medical field, we've got malpractice insurance because we don't want to incur the fees associated with a bad outcome. So in the event of an emergency, a bad outcome would be that we don't have that money available to us. So we have an emergency fund against that. So I guess the question I have associated with that is, in the event of a bad outcome in an emergency, is that the time when you want to be incurring more debt? By taking out a home equity line of credit, you're incurring more debt. And if there's true emergency in your life, that's probably the worst time that you want to be taking out more debt. So ultimately, I guess that's the thought process I have associated with that. Um, anyway, last thought was, hopefully you guys watched that video that we had in our class with, I believe her name was Cynthia, the single mom that unfortunately lost her husband. It just ripped my heart out, but at the same time, I meant the passion associated with her drive to be able to improve her life was absolutely incredible, and I hope you guys enjoy that. If you didn't see it or you want to watch it again, I'll put the link up here. But just think about what she had to sacrifice to get to that point. Now, it was a temporary sacrifice, because once she's done paying those debts off, she is scot-free. She has no debts to her name. She is living debt-free. What would you guys pay? What would you give up? What would you sacrifice to be able to be in that position? And that's a question that you guys need to ask yourselves and think about. Ultimately, as I said, this was a great question. And I really appreciate you guys bringing it to my attention, because it's not something that I've thought about. And I just want to bring up my own concerns about it. I definitely see the appeal to it, but it also has some pitfalls that I just want to kind of bring to your attention. If you guys have any other thoughts or questions, let me know. I'd love to hear them. Once again, thank you for bringing this up, because it was something that I didn't know much about, and I enjoy learning about this stuff. Once again, I hope you guys have a great Labor Day weekend, and we'll see you in class next week. Take care.